Hello ladies and gents, I am Anna Diffin, and welcome back to From Depths Ashes of the Empire Community Edition. So this episode I am going to try a little bit different in the editing department. I am going to be trying a combination of live commentary, such as I am doing now, and some voiceover commentary later on in certain sections, probably mainly the combats, but anywhere where I feel it is definitely relevant. So, to start with though, let us have a look at the new designs we'll be utilising in this episode. So, the first one is the Comnit 142 by Mainfall, a 3758 design. Oh, it's actually a spy satellite. Whoops, I did not know that though, so let's go grab another one from Mainfall. I'll still use this, but I don't actually need that as a primary vehicle. So let's go for the ARA class heavy fighter. And let's actually despawn the other one first. Professional. Anyway, let's have a look at this thing. So it is quite the design. Let's have a quick look-see around it. So it has a load of missiles within the wings. Looks like they are fragmentation. Yep, some nice fragmentation missiles there, so they should do quite nicely. Good barrage. And it has a cannon at the rear. Is that a cannon spin blocked through the jet? It is. Excellent. There's also one at the front as well. Also spin blocked through some of the components. Very nice. So this is definitely something a little bit tougher, so let us send it against not the twin guard, I think something the flayers, something quite chunky. So the missile barrage, whoops, is quite significant. Where is it? It's quite a long way away, so it is very quick design. Yet it's definitely speedy. It's very quickly advancing up. The missiles though are able to keep up with that, so they're still in range, they still have fuel, but they do miss a little bit there, but still enough fuel to keep them operational. And then it fires cannons at the rear there, which will actually be quite nice against the fighters. So you can see the projectiles from the cannon firing out as it makes its turn. These cannons will be considerably more effective when facing off against multiple things because they'll be able to keep firing at various targets, while the missiles focus in against the primary. Nice fast design, and definitely it should perform quite admirably with all those various weapon systems. My only concern is that having so many weapon systems, it might get a little bit focused down. It doesn't seem to have tremendous durability, other than its large size. So next up we have the Metal Gear by Hikari. Here we go. It is a bouncing Metal Gear because they spawned it too far in the air. It is a Metal Gear from the Metal Gear franchise. And it's just got hit by a stray couple of missiles. Okay, so it does actually have a cockpit which will drop down. And a load of settings. That's really cool. So it's using the audio sounder there for joystick, control terminal for the audio and that. Really nice feature there. It has shields. Awesome aesthetics. And a big gun there. Let's see how it maneuvers. I'm going to send it against Taipan because I'm not too sure it looks particularly robust. So the hatch opens, launching out missiles. And he's actually more robust than I was expecting, which is really good. I was thinking that this walker might just fold under fire. A lot of these components don't really look super robust, even though they do look rather awesome. The cannon itself, though, is having a little bit of trouble firing, but that's probably because it just has such a long reload time. There we go, it does fire a fairly big shot, and whoop, there we go. Some glitchiness as components get knocked off and it just starts bouncing around. So it has potential. It has a lot of potential to do really well, but it also has potential to flip over and murder itself. But that's kind of the thing with walkers at the moment. But it is a very, very nice looking at the very least. And that is very important in all sorts of designs. Next we have the Smolderer by Charcharodon. One of the older designs from Charcharodon, which I've had sitting in my folder for absolutely ages. And this is actually a single vehicle one, which is actually quite rare. A lot of rams at the sides, which would make it very, very good as defense. Ow! That really hurts. As I was saying, the number of rams would make it very, very good defensively against the white flares, because rams hitting rams don't do that much damage to either of them, which is always rather good. And 3 large cram cannons here, very, very explosive. So let's see how these perform against something from the Onyx Watch, say the Bison. There you go, cram cannons each, and the Smolderer misses. He quite happily absorbs a good number of hits from the Bison, but unfortunately not all of them, and part of the AI is actual AI is taken out, thus disabling it. So it is a tad unfortunate, but this was sent to me while I was facing the Swing Gypsies and not the Onyx Watch. So although I am going to be facing the Onyx Watch likely with it, I should really test it against the Swing Gypsies. To which it reduces them to confetti. Yeah, lots of confetti. Let's see another shot fire and see if it reduces it to complete confetti in 2 barrages. Quite a long recharge, but they are big crams, so that is fine. And there we go. Yep, complete confetti in 2 barrages. So for the targets it was facing when this was submitted, an absolutely perfect design. Unfortunately, it is going to suffer because of the tougher designs I am now facing. Next up though, we have Tank 2 by Green Designer. A 30k design, so it is quite expensive, but it does have quite a few chunks of heavy armour here, which is going to protect it a fair bit, though I am a bit concerned about the alloy skirt at the bottom. Then again, this might actually float, which is kind of cool. Using rubber around the side and bottom, so when the wheels do inevitably get shot off, because that happens all the time with tanks, it will actually skim around quite happily. Let's see how this faces. It's against Taipan initially. Using green tracer rounds, so it's going to be nice, easily visible in forces. And there we go, actually very quite effective round. It's popped the turret already, and its target is already AI dead. Was quite close in, but what is this round? Axis intake, it's a fragmentation. Thought it might have been, but how effective it was, I was expecting it might have been something else, such as a Heat or a Hesh or something. But no. Quite a robust little tank it seems. Then again, I am facing the white flares at the moment, so let's send it against something a little bit more interesting, such as the Ravager, which is coming in really close. And to be expected, at close range the Ravager smacks into it, causing a horrific amount of damage. Though, hang on, has the turret not popped? Oh no, the turret has popped. Yeah, so pretty much the entire base was destroyed. But it's a point blank range that is kind of thing which happens. Saying that though, the tank is alive and repairing itself. So it survived and has disabled the Ravager at point blank range, whereas the Ravager is quite happily able to destroy most targets at that sort of distance. It's a good job. And finally we have the Tenderizer land by Guns McLegend. This is actually sent in the updated version just moments before starting this video, so just in time really. It's looks like it's one of the modified. Is it modified or just based on one of the Flayer's designs? Let's have a look. Let's just send them against each other. It is. Which is it? The Slayer? Yeah, the Slayer. So this version also has guns. So are they? They look really similar. Can't tell. See, it's got a lot of the similar features, but is whether or not it has been based purely on it, or has just taken it as a base, or whichever. I'm not entirely sure. Still, let's see how they fare. Which one rams the most deadly? You've got piston spinning rams. Okay, that definitely makes you a little bit more interesting. Piston rams are actually really rather deadly. I mean, two of these vehicles spinning around each other doesn't really showcase them, so let's go send it against a large house. Nice stationary target for rams to go against, just because it is so fun to watch the spinning rams tear through massive numbers of blocks. So look at that, the piston rams eating through the blocks of this house there. Slowly but surely eating through the entire building. And it will basically do this against metal as well. Just happily coring its way through. Slightly stuck at the top there, but yeah, any vehicle which takes a penetrating hit that deep, which has actually gone all the way through, will be destroyed. It's just these houses are actually quite chunky, being structures and all. So yes, that is going to be really good fun to see how that ram operates in the campaign. Oh yes, the community force was being attacked by the 17th Expedition Team. That's true. Let's figure out where I want to spawn everything. So the first community at 24 strength. I think I kind of want that at 25 strength. Now the third community is the weakest in terms of numbers, but I still think it's one of the stronger forces just because of how it was designed. You know what, let's spawn it in with this community force over here. So all the vehicles have been added to the community force up here. I think it's the second community force, so let's rename it as such. And they can continue their slow walk towards this Lightning Hood's tile. But we do need to check out this battle, so let us go begin it. Yeah, everything seems okay. I'm going to spawn everything in, and what are we facing? Quite a few various designs. Eapus? I don't remember that design. Well, let's begin and find out. Okay, so the battle begins with a load of different coloured factions there, and immediately the huge amount of laser and missile fire against a load of flyers, mainly focusing on the Type E, I believe it is, yep, and that is really quite deadly. The lasers just churning through it, just focusing on its massive number of weapons. And already another one of the designs, the Type A, has lost both of its propellers. It is in a really bad state at the moment. Simple lasers also doing very well, blowing up a huge number of components on the tanks, but the ERA is just activating all the time. Fortunately, the Type F there has been suffered a lot of casualties, and with that down we are actually really low on repair capabilities, because the repair heli is the only thing left alive, and that too has been struck, losing one of its propellers, but it is still currently functional. The other tank designs though are really suffering. This one here being completely murdered by multiple simple laser craft. Almost all the ARA has now detonated, but it is still functional. An incredibly tough design there by Richard Dastardly. Very impressive how resilient that is. But we are losing vehicles. They are again going to despawn. We're actually quite close to actually losing this battle, which is not good. Fortunately, the tanks seem to be just strong enough to be able to resist the assault, and this one, for example, has taken such a beating. It's basically disabled, lost almost all of its components. It's barely moving, but it is still in the fight. It is still fighting, and the Lightning Hood's taking enough damage to destabilize the majority of their craft. The Delta Plan here also being struck by simple lasers, losing half of its propulsion systems. But it is still able to fire using its crazy array of bright blue tracer rounds. The rest of the tanks are doing fine there too. Very nice. And this is actually going to be just enough to keep himself alive, I think. But again, the Delta Plan being struck by a load of simple lasers, but the simple laser plane crashes into the tank, causing severe damage to both parties. But the plane seems to take the worst of the damage and has now crashes into the ground. Unfortunately, this battle is tying up, and Particle Accelerator tank is clearing house. I decided to get out in a moment and try and take out some of the Lightning Hood's remaining vehicles. But unfortunately, I have lost that because this game crashed, mainly due to lure, which I explain in a moment. So, unfortunately, this battle is lost. Back to the live commentary. Unfortunately, the game crashed again, but it was in the last moments of this battle, which was really quite annoying, because I thought it was going to crash. It would crash near the start when it was all laggy and messy. But it seems that there was some sort of bad lure thing, or not necessarily lure causing the crash, but yeah, crash related to the lure scripts used in this force. Still, should be able to do well, and let's see how well it does again. Maybe the casualties will be different this time, but I'll probably just speed through this really rather quickly. And speed through it I do, keeping initially a single focus on the camera just to observe that initial barrage of laser and missile fire, because I haven't actually adjusted the positioning of any of the forces, letting it play out, hopefully, as close as possible as before, though already things are happening very differently. The Type E seemed to have lost enough focus against it straight away, and then everything starts firing at the Type A. The Type F taking less damage, but the Delta Plan moving in for the kill and getting completely torn apart by simple lasers there. Thankfully, the nearby tanks are able to keep it repaired and in the fight. In fact, all the tanks repairing each other very well here. A very good idea to keep all the vehicles in an Ashes playthrough having some repair tentacles, because, well, they crash into each other so readily, and like this. The Delta Plan there is being repaired and is repairing the craft near it. Just go have a look at the various damages there. And there again, the Delta Plan having lost half of its weapon systems, but is being simple lased again. But is still fighting on regardless. Repair heli is coming in, but the Type F gets rammed and is being shot at by simple lasers. Is it actually going to be able to survive? Or is it going to crash? I'm not looking too hopeful for it. I jump over to the Type A to try and save it because it is running out of blocks. my repair capability isn't that high at the moment, having mainly focused in Rambot's survivability and damage. The mechanic is only I think it's only rank 2 at the moment, whereas before I had it at rank 50. In fact, leveling is something I do need to do more of in this game, because, I don't know, like level 150, which just doesn't provide enough points to be able to maximise the areas I wish. I don't like the general buffs, but all the other areas, the personal buffs, are very good, allowing me to capture more readily. So here, just having a look at the various designs health-wise, and this is not looking good. The weapons have vented down ammunition, but it's going to be a matter of time before something shoots it and breaks it. Jumping over to it again to try and keep it repaired, but it isn't looking good. Looking around, and again, looking there, Type A is not looking healthy. And there we go, 2 damaged. Not good at all. Still, the lightning hoods are looking worse for wear as well, so it's not all bad, I guess. But there we go, the lasers firing down, breaking off enough components in order to turn it below 55%. So there we go, it is now disintegrating and falls to pieces. You did well, but you were defeated. I think the battle did actually go a little bit better this time, so although it took slightly different casualties, a lot of damage, the damage was a bit more spread out, so I think I actually lost 3 vehicles in the game which crashed, whereas it's only been a couple this time. Well, I think it's only the one actually. Going to first person for a little bit to capture one of the tanks, just to try and speed it up, because as soon as it gets slightly damaged, all the vehicles just kind of ignore them, which they should do. I managed to capture it and steal the resources straight away, just as it was disintegrating, which is rather nice. And there we go. Not much is left now. It's just waiting the last remnants of the lightning hoods here to be eliminated. Which this is the last. There we go. Should be the battle finished. Excellent it is, and didn't crash again. So we lost the Type E of that battle. A bit of a problem. Sacron Type E. A very good vehicle. Unfortunately, no more. Right, well it seems that the laser emplacement has been attacked again, so let's go observe this battle in, well, very quickly, because that's how long it takes. Indeed, it is very quick for this lasers to work. Just having a look at how the defensive smoke is working really well against the looks, as always, but that's about it. It's over before it's even started. That is why I picked hit scan weapons for this. Excellent. Victory is mine. And battle is finished. Awesome. All. And how is the resources in this place doing? It's doing okay. Not perfectly, but okay. It's during this point which I do a bit of logistics, because notice that my stuff is running really low on fuel, and while the refineries are not keeping up with the demand, so I just jump over to them and basically duplicate a few more, noticing that I have actually got 3 still to be built. So I decide to send the hauler directly back to the refineries to build up a few more of them, because more refineries means more fuel for all the combat forces, and they are using quite a lot now, and these refineries do generate extremely efficiently, but also extremely slowly. So adding a load more will help in the long run. Okay, so the second community force has taken on here, and they haven't repaired up. wanted to showcase the new designs, but apparently that's not going to be a thing now. Okay, well, we'll carry on with the battle anyway. So, the battle begins a little bit chaotically to start with, mainly because I noticed that a load of my own vehicles are shooting each other in the back, and immediately the walker falls over. Yeah, it's kind of an anarchy initially. The fight is having a slightly longer range because I started the battle early, but that was my fault, which is why things haven't spawned in. And yeah, that just got completely annihilated by simple lasers and AA, which means I am down another anti-aircraft. I just seem to lose every single anti-air weapon immediately. Though fortunately for me, the Cram Gatling is taking a ridiculous beating, and I am really fortunate for this because this thing is able to take it. Unlike the APS versions, which as soon as they got breached it just blew up into smithereens, the Gatling in the Cram version is just so resilient to damage. It is incredibly strong. Just observing here, loading the vehicles, and not actually taking as much damage as I would have thought. A few did despawn, but that was because of the blueprints not included. Just having a look at some of the designs, and yep, having lost a few different barrels, and like, oh dear, not doing too well, but still not anything really despawning. Yes, the reason the other vehicles didn't actually spawn in the new blueprints is because of the crash. When I respawned them in, I actually forgot to set them to repair. I set them to repair initially, which is what I was remembering when I was recording, but I didn't do it on the fixed version, so they'll be deployed next episode and have the first deployment immunity there as well. Just observing the battle more generally. Just seeing how well the Cram Gatling just completely murders things at close range. It does so nicely. I do love those aesthetics there of the custom cannons. Just the rest of the vehicles doing quite strongly there, with the Benny Blade still kicking ass really, doing simple lasers and everything. Great little vehicle. I decided, you know what, it's a good point to try and capture the skyscraper, because I noticed it is running out of blocks. Though, by the time I came over to it, the reason it's losing a lot of material is that it is disintegrating, so no materials for me. I quite liked it, it was about 102k, and I think it's just controlled by a single AI module, which is quite neat. So this is a long travel, following the various designs going off into the ether, and yeah, it's damaged, so it is swinging away wildly in one of the Zeuses. And yeah, I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to cut this part and skip the rest of the battle until the very end. See, it's travelled a long way. And there we go, it is now 2 damaged. So that means the battle will finish momentarily. Excellent, battle is finished. Very good, so pull all. Oh, the Onslaught was defeated. Sorry I missed that, the Char 1B was defeated. These other designs, the Metal Gear, the Heavy Fighter and the Smolderer, they do get to be functioning in this episode. Where's the other one? Right, since I said I was going to spawn in, let's spawn in one Cosmits. Ooh, the third? What? The third community force? They weren't doing anything. Well, let's build the Comnet. Ah! Oh, the hauler went through this tile and aggroed. Oh dear. We got fuel. Accidentally have actually got fuel. That's good. Let's pull all anyway. So the Comnet there is being built up. So let's finalize this. Let's move this radar satellite all the way up.
On my way.
So I'm not really going to be able to showcase these vehicles, the new ones, in this episode, just because I kind of messed up the spawning. Let's see the third community force face off against I think this is the last of the white flares now. I don't think the white flares have any more territory after this. So, in glorious fashion, let us eliminate the white flares once and for all. The last battle with the white flares. And they make it look a pretty one, with all the flail, the whips of the particle accelerators, and that massive red beam of tracers. I respond with blue tracers in kind, and a lot of missiles. Although we should get shot down by intercept missiles, which I was not expecting. But enough do strike to call it home. I'm just getting close and take a nasty strike to the Type C there, which is a bit painful, mainly because we're losing all of those helis. Nuke goes off and I level up as the chaos tears through my vehicles. Thankfully none are destroyed yet. But actually it's looking like the chaos might crash into its friendlies, depending on if my own vehicles get closer in. But helicopters maintaining a nice distance and a good focus, shooting everything down. But it takes a hit to the side and vents all its rounds, and falls to the ground, making it vulnerable to the rammers. So I was thinking, you know what, it's good, helicopters are flying, the rammers are going after them, they're immune. Nope, they are not. They get hit, they die out like everyone else. Nuke goes off, I see if it's trying to hit anything, but I cannot. I don't think any of my vehicles were within that blast radius. Missiles going off into middle distance, destroying things and hitting everything all over the place. Which is good. Repairs and tanks crashing into each other, showing again why repairs are so important. I think at this point I'm causing more damage to myself than the white flares are dealing to me. That said, it just tore half the side off the particle accelerator tank. But it did survive. Testament to the strength of Richard Dastardly's tanks here. They are really very tough. And although I have lost a few, they have also survived a tremendous amount of punishment. And they're still surviving despite being quite a number of vehicles down. And they were designed against the lightning hoods and not against the white flares. Though they definitely are showing their capability in both departments. But that's pretty much this battle finished. Not much left on the white flares design. So there we go. The Delta plan, the last few missiles, finish off the chaos as it disintegrates into confetti. Excellent. That did take any casualties? No, took a few heavy hits, but no casualties whatsoever. But otherwise, that is it for this episode. So the white flares have been completely eradicated. Lightning hoods are going to take a little bit longer. I was hoping to get them cleared out mostly as well this episode, but that crash did set me back a fair way. However, that's it for me for now. So thank you very much for watching this episode of... However, that's it for me for now. So, thank you very much for watching this episode of From the Depths, Ashes of the Empire Community Edition with myself, Anna Diffin. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Also, be sure to check out the rest of my channel for more From the Depths videos and other games, and swing by the Discord channel for direct chat and also for submitting designs. Otherwise, that's it for me for now, and I shall see you next time. But, until then, I'm out. Goodbye!